Good afternoon, Marist College students. My name is Nick Gabriel, and I'm here today with the Marist College Television with our very first episode of the Red Fox Report, bringing you inside coverings of the happenings at Marist College. Today, we visit the temporary mass vaccination site at 51 Fulton Street. Administering the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. The site was set to run from March 5th to March 10th, being worked by student workers and employees, promising approximately 3,500 doses for all those eligible. Unlike the Pfizer and Moderna vaccine, requiring 2 shots, the Johnson & Johnson only needs 1 dose to be effective, marking a more efficient solution towards protection. I'm here today with Garrett, a freshman here at Marist College pursuing a degree in biochem, who's a volunteer student worker here at the rollout. How does it feel to be a part of this historic vaccine rollout operation?
Yeah, it honestly feels really amazing. I can't believe I'm part of this process, this program. It's really surprising how quick they managed to get this up and how functional it actually is. I really just can't wait to tell my grandchildren that I was here, I was helping in this historical event.
So, what was your job here today?
Yeah, so I mostly directed traffic, spoke to people who just got vaccinated, made sure they were okay, they're all right. In addition, I entered some names when they first arrived, just a registering process.
Can you give us an overview of the process for participants receiving the vaccine?
Sure, yeah. So they come in, we check their temperature, we ask them if they have any symptoms. If they pass that, they go to the registering desk, they get registered. Once they do that, they wait in a line 6 feet apart, and then they get their vaccine. And once they have their vaccine, they go to the observation area. They stay there for 10 to 15 minutes, make sure they're all right, and then they're on their way and vaccinated.
And vaccinated. Great. Well, thank you so much for your time here today. We don't want to keep you too long, but that's Garrett, and thanks again.
Of course.
And now today, we have Dr. Brackett, the Executive Vice President of Marist College. First off, we'd just like to thank you so much, the entire Marist College community, for all your hard work and effort towards the reopening plan. And now just to jump right into the questions, I was going to ask, how and when was Marist College chosen as a vaccination site?
Well, first of all, I'm very glad to be speaking with the students at MCTV, and thank you for everything that you do to help communicate what's going on in the Marist community to the student population and others. The quick answer to that is we got contact from the state last week that they were interested in providing vaccine support for the Mid-Hudson community. And as soon as we got that call, which came into President Murray's office, he asked us to look at the possibility of supporting them, which we did very quickly. And we did the analysis of what our capacity would be and the best location to be able to support the state distribution of vaccines in the region. And we ended up here at 51 Fulton.
Awesome. So are there any future plans for, say, another future vaccination site here?
That's a very good question. I'm not the one to answer that, but the one thing that we could say is we have worked very closely through the years with the state and with our local and regional representatives, and we do everything we can, obviously, to support the community. I'm sure you know the values handed down to us from the Marist brothers include excellence in education, a commitment to service and the importance of community. And we try to live that mission and values ideal in everything that we do. So this was an easy call to answer, and it's something that we'd like to continue to provide, but we're obviously at the distribution point support the distribution point support for this kind of distribution process. We don't make the decisions.
Perfect. So then another quick question, I'm sure it's on a lot of people's minds. Can you spread any light on Marist's COVID plans for the remaining of the spring semester and even into the next fall semester?
Well, fall is a long way away. Let's hope for the best on fall right now. But for spring, as you students know, we built on our success in the fall. Yeah. So there are really, it's helpful to think of the 3 main testing protocols that we put in place. One is the pre-arrival test. which worked very well for us in the fall, and I think was the thing that allowed us to have success that many other institutions did not. So we continued that into the spring, as I'm sure you know. You submitted your negative PCR prior to coming to campus, or you wouldn't be here. Yeah. Secondly, we instituted an additional step through arrival testing, and that was through the PCR swabbing test that I'm also sure you participated in. I did too, because it's not simply students, it's everybody, faculty, staff, and students all have to participate in that arrival testing protocol. And then that's supplemented a third time with surveillance testing, and that's every 2 weeks. Every member of the Marist community, employees and students, will cycle through that testing protocol. Now, I'll just give you one data point from the state that's important to keep in mind. The state has a threshold that institutions that test 25% of their populations achieve a kind of flexibility in managing their COVID numbers, and those who don't do that have a more strict guideline, and that's a total of 114 days in a rolling average. But it's important to note that Marist exceeds that by twice. Yeah. So we test 50%. The state says if you do 25%, you're doing a great job. We double that. It's just an indicator of how seriously we take this. And I think it's built on the goodwill that our students, faculty, and staff have all brought to the table through this process.
Thank you, thank you. Well, I think we're hitting 5 o'clock traffic right now, so I'm gonna get one last quick question in, and it was really just, are there any closing words or anything you can say that you'd like to say to the Marist students or anyone listening at home?
Well, the first thing I'll say is we have a great deal of compassion for the challenges that you're going through, right? I'm the father of 3 sons, one of whom is in college right now, one of whom was a senior Red Fox last year. And so he hasn't had commencement. You know, his spring semester senior year was wiped off the calendar. And so all of us were very understanding of the challenges that everybody is dealing with. And this is obviously a pandemic that has totaled more than 500,000 American lives and over 2.5 million globally. It is a major health challenge for the globe. We hope and we think we're coming on the outside edge of this. It's been a challenge. We want to get through this together, and I think the silver lining of this whole endeavor, I think, is that it's driven the community spirit and the importance of those special attributes of Marist College to the fore in ways that people have understood, but in times of stress and pressure, that kind of quality comes through, and I couldn't be prouder to be a member of the Red Fox family.
Thank you, and those are the same community aspects that drove me to become a Marist Red Fox myself. But thank you so much for being here today with us, Dr. Brackett.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, it's a pleasure.
Almost got you. Yeah. Hopefully, with the arrival of more vaccination doses across the United States, we'll soon find our way to normalcy. With successful vaccine rollouts starting across the country, your awaited summer trip might be just on the horizon. Please, thank a frontline worker and stay safe during this tumultuous time. That concludes our very first episode of the Red Fox Report. I'm Nick Gabriel, and that's all.